You're probably still using Gemini or ChatGPT the same way you were 6 months ago. Typing in prompts, getting answers, maybe generating some images. And honestly, that's like buying a Tesla and only using it to charge your phone. Because the model Google just quietly dropped doesn't just answer your questions. It actually thinks before it speaks. And the benchmark scores are genuinely terrifying for the competition. I've spent the last 2 weeks buried in the research papers, the leaked hardware specs, and the developer docs. And what I found changes how I think about where AI is headed.
Welcome back to bitbiased.ai, where we do the research so you don't have to. Join our community of AI enthusiasts with our free weekly newsletter. Click the link in the description below to subscribe. You will get the key AI news, tools, and learning resources to stay ahead.
So in this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about Gemini 3.2, from the custom silicon that makes it possible, to its record-shattering deep think reasoning mode, to the brand new agentic platform that lets you build entire apps from a single sentence. I'll also show you what Google is planning for I/O 2026 and why that matters for anyone who uses AI daily. Let's get into it. The hardware nobody's talking about. Here's the thing most people miss about Gemini 3.2. And honestly, most AI channels won't even mention this. The intelligence of this model doesn't start with the software. It starts with the chip. Google didn't just build a bigger model and hope for the best. They co-designed Gemini 3.2 alongside a brand new piece of custom silicon called the TPU V7 Ironwood. Now, if that name doesn't ring a bell, it's because this chip hasn't even been officially launched yet. It was leaked. And what makes it special is something called a systolic array architecture. Think of it this way. In a regular processor, your CPU or even your GPU, every time the chip needs to multiply two numbers, it has to fetch the data from memory, do the math, and then write the result back. That back and forth is like running to the fridge every time you need a single ingredient while cooking. Exhausting and slow. A systolic array eliminates that entire process. The data flows through thousands of multiply accumulators that are physically wired to each other, so values pass from one unit to the next without ever touching memory. It's like having every ingredient lined up on the counter in the exact order you need them. And this matters because Gemini 3.2 uses a sparse mixture of experts architecture. Instead of activating the entire model for every single query, it only fires up the specific expert modules relevant to your question. So you get a model that is massively more capable without a proportional increase in energy or cost. The hardware and the software were literally designed to complement each other, and that's something no other AI lab can claim right now. But here's where it gets really interesting. This hardware-software synergy unlocks something Google calls inference time scaling. And that leads us to the feature that's making headlines. Deep-think AI that actually reasons. This is the part that made me sit up in my chair. When you ask ChatGPT or the standard version of Gemini a question, what you're getting is essentially very sophisticated pattern completion. The model predicts the most likely next word based on its training. It's impressive, but it's not reasoning. Gemini 3.2 Deep Think changes that completely. When you activate Deep Think mode and throw the model a genuinely hard problem, we're talking Olympiad-level math, complex scientific analysis, multi-step logic puzzles. It doesn't just start generating text. Instead, before you see a single word on screen, the model enters a three-stage reasoning pipeline. First, it decomposes the problem. It breaks your big, messy question into smaller, solvable subproblems. Second, it runs a parallel solution search, exploring multiple solution paths at the same time, like a chess engine evaluating different board positions simultaneously. And third, this is the critical part, it runs self-verification loops. It checks its own reasoning for logical errors and hallucinations before committing to an answer. Now you might be thinking, okay, that sounds nice in theory, but does it actually work? Let me give you the numbers. On the ARC AGI-2 benchmark, which is considered the gold standard for testing whether a model can actually reason versus just recall patterns, Gemini 3.2 Deep Think scored 84.6%. For context, GPT 5.2 scored 54.2% on the same test. Claude Opus 4.6 hit 68.8%. So we're not talking about a marginal improvement here. This is a 30-point lead over OpenAI's best model on the single benchmark that was specifically designed to test fluid intelligence, the ability to solve problems you've never seen before. And it doesn't stop there. On humanity's last exam, a benchmark built from expert-level questions across dozens of disciplines, Gemini 3.2 scored 53.4% compared to GPT 5.2's 45.5%. On the MathArena Apex benchmark, it posted a 20x improvement over the previous Gemini generation. The trade-off is latency. DeepThink takes longer to respond because it's actually doing the work under the hood. But Google positions this as complementary to the standard Gemini 3.2 Pro, which stays fast and conversational for everyday tasks. You pick the mode based on what you need, speed or depth. Now, if the model can think this well, the natural question becomes, where do you actually put it to work? And that brings us to something Google has been building quietly behind the scenes. Antigravity, the death of traditional coding. Forget everything you know about code editors. Google just released a platform called Antigravity, and I genuinely believe this is the most underrated announcement of 2026. Antigravity is not a code editor. It's not an IDE. It's a mission control center for AI agents. Here's how it works. You open Antigravity, and the interface is split into two views, an editor and an agent manager. On one side, you have your traditional code workspace. On the other, you have a dashboard showing multiple AI agents, each working on different tasks simultaneously. You're not writing code line by line anymore. You're the architect. You define high-level goals, something like refactor my entire authentication module, or generate a complete test suite for this billing API, and the agents go execute. Or generate a complete test suite for this billing API, and the agents go execute. But wait, because here's the part that actually blew me away. These agents have what Google calls a browser in the loop. That means they can visually see your app in a built-in browser, identify UI elements, test responsive layouts, and iterate on designs, all without you touching a thing. They also use something called thought signatures, which are encrypted snapshots of their internal reasoning that persist across multi-turn interactions. This solves the biggest problem AI agents have had until now, losing context halfway through a complex task. Google tested this with something called Vending Bench 2, a simulation where AI agents had to manage a vending machine business for an entire year. Gemini 3 Pro finished with an average net worth of $5,478, compared to roughly $2,014 for the GPT equivalent. That's a 272% improvement. And it comes down to one thing: consistent, long-horizon decision-making. This is what people are calling vibe coding. You describe the vibe of what you want, the feel of the app, the general idea, maybe a theme, and the model generates a fully functional application. We're talking complete interactive 3D games, immersive dashboards, and polished web interfaces, all from a single phrase. And if you think the agents are impressive in the dev world, wait until you see what Google is doing with your personal data. Personal Intelligence Gemini knows your life. This is the feature that I think most people are sleeping on. Earlier this year, Google introduced something called personal intelligence. And the simplest way to explain it is this: you can now connect Gemini directly to your Gmail, Google Docs, Calendar, Maps, and Photos. Once you do, it stops being a generic assistant and starts becoming a digital partner that actually understands your life. Imagine asking Gemini, where should I eat lunch before my 2 p.m. meeting that has that vegetarian dish I liked last month? And instead of giving you a generic restaurant list, it actually searches through your email receipts, cross-references your calendar, checks your Maps history, and gives you the exact restaurant with the exact dish. That's not a hypothetical. That's what personal intelligence does. Google Maps is also getting its biggest upgrade in years. There's a new feature called Ask Maps, a fully conversational discovery tool where you can ask natural language questions like, where can I charge my phone without a long wait for coffee? And then there's immersive navigation, which renders your driving environment in full 3D, including buildings, terrain, and landmarks. Now I know what some of you are thinking: privacy. And Google anticipated that. Personal intelligence has app connections turned off by default. You control exactly what Gemini can access, and there's a new feature called memories, basically persistent context that follows you across conversations, so you don't have to re-explain yourself every single time. You can even import your preferences from other AI apps, making it seamless if you're switching from a competitor. But the bigger picture here isn't just about convenience. It's about something Google's research team published in March that quietly changed the entire conversation around AGI. The roadmap to AGI and Google I/O 2026. In March 2026, Google DeepMind published a paper called Measuring Progress Toward AGI, a Cognitive Framework. And this is one of the most important AI papers of the year, because it basically says, stop arguing about whether a model is AGI or not. Instead, measure it against 10 specific cognitive abilities. Those 10 faculties include perception, reasoning, memory, metacognition, executive function, social cognition, and more. The idea is that instead of a single benchmark telling you whether a model is smart, you build a cognitive profile, a report card that shows exactly where the model excels and where it falls short. And here's the kicker. When you map Gemini 3.2 against this framework, it's the first model to enter what the researchers call the elite tier for reasoning and problem solving simultaneously. The ARC AGI-2 score, the humanities last exam results, the vending bench performance, they all converge on the same conclusion. This model doesn't just recall information well. It can reason through novel problems, maintain context over long horizons, and self-correct its mistakes. Now, Google I/O 2026 is confirmed for May 19th and 20th, and the developer community is expecting it to be massive. Here's what's on the radar: the full rollout of Gemini 3.2 Ultra, deeper integration of Gemini Nano 2 into Android 17, and Pixel 10 for on-device AI without cloud latency, updates to Android XR and Gemini-powered smart glasses, and rumors of something called Aluminium OS, potentially a successor to Chrome OS designed specifically as an AI-first desktop experience. There's also expected expansion of the Antigravity platform, with parallel subagents for background automation. We're not just looking at a model update. We're looking at an entire ecosystem being rebuilt around the assumption that AI can think, act, and remember. So here's the bottom line. Gemini 3.2 isn't just another model release. It represents a fundamental shift from AI that predicts to AI that reasons, from chatbots that answer questions to agents that execute plans. The hardware, the software, the ecosystem, it's all converging toward one idea: AI as a force multiplier for human intelligence. The question isn't whether this technology will change how you work. It already is. The question is whether you'll be the one directing it or the one catching up. If this breakdown was useful, smash that like button and subscribe. I go deep on every major AI development, so you always know what actually matters versus what's just hype. Drop a comment below and tell me what you're most excited about: deep think, anti-gravity, or personal intelligence. I'll see you in the next one.